Peter, very simply, if I will leave the building here and I will go to the suburb somewhere here in Joburg, and I will be stopped by some bad guys, very strong guy, big guy, he will stop me, he will hijack me.
Okay.
And will tell me, okay, you know what? Get me your watch, get me your mobile, get me your da-da-da-da. What are you going to do? Are you going to...
You phone me.
I phone you, you will not answer, because if I tell you, Peter, I am in a big trouble. No, they will tell me, call Peter, let him to transfer $25,000 to me to relieve you. This will be the
price.
But if you will be into this situation and you have someone that is threatening you all the time, you need to keep paying me. Not only I've taken everything on you and I say, okay, to keep you in your shape like that, you have to keep paying me the bill. To be the guard. I told you, the big guy that he's guarding you. I need to put a military base in your house. I need to put my people to be, controlling your phone, your everything. Any phone call that you wanted to do, it will be monitored. And you say, okay, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Clock.
How do you deal with stress? How do you handle that?
Coping mechanisms that I have is I go for a run.
Manage stress by obviously being moments like this. Directly saying I'm going off the clock.
Just even a night out.
I'm listening to my favorite music. I go into one of the studios at the gym and I dance.
Some cocktails and rest and just do nothing.
I ground myself spiritually.
The right amount of stress is good.
Welcome back to Off the Clock. Today we have a old friend of mine, but very special guest, DJ Khaled himself in the house.
Gonna be the title of the video.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for really making the time. I know you came a long way from Sun City and you had a lot of many business meetings.
Yes,
I can see
indeed.
you're already exhausted and ready to go back to Cairo and then on your way to Dubai. And it's just so sentimental, to connect with you after we met in the kind of early 2000s. We were all working at BD and, we never really lost the contact.
Yeah.
So Off the Clock, it's a leadership podcast where we focus more on work-life balance. For people like you, sometimes work too much and play a little bit. And we would like you to introduce yourself very quickly, the way you know best. I can try to introduce you, but I'll never do it like you. So over to you. Who are you?
Oh my God. No. First of all, thank you very much, Peter. You don't know how happy I'm really catching up with Peter after so many years. We had a lot of good times together, working hard together. We have a lot of loads of memories. And I was so keen really to keep this connection, and we kept the connection for quite a long time.
Yeah, we did.
So thank you very much for having me here in this occasion. I did not expect to be like that, and you called me DJ Khaled. That's too much for me. So thank you very much.
Just enjoy it.
Anyways, so I'm very happy to be with you guys here today. My name is Khaled Hamed.
Khaled Hamed.
Yes. I am
So it's Khaled.
Egyptian, Australian, and I would say that I've been working for the last 35 plus years. I don't want to declare the number of years, so I'm still young boy. I have a lot of good heart and I'm young.
And that's what matters, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I've been, I grew up in Egypt. I got educated in Egypt. I completed all my degrees in Egypt, and I was fortunate, lucky enough to work for international companies at the very early days of my life. Here and quickly I finished my postgraduate studies, and I got a good opportunity to work for a multinational company whom they pushed me out of Egypt. So this was a very big journey to start to work. So I've been sent to the Gulf area. I worked in many countries, in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait, in Dubai, in United Arab, and then I got regional positions in where I got to know very well my dear friend Peter. I worked for the regional area for the MEA, they call it Middle East Africa. However, this was a very good days. And then I changed the industry from one company to another, started to grow horizontally for regional wide, and then vertically in the organizations. And then I was lucky enough to find a good job with a company also whom they have sent me to Asia. So I made my way all the way from the Middle East to Australia, So this was like 2012, something like that. And it was really very hectic times for me and my family to move them. When you work for multinational companies, it's very hard for you, since you are going to be mobile, to move with your children, your family from one country to another. You take them out from their roots, their schools, their friends. But I promised them one thing, that I said, when we go to Australia, it's going to be the final destination. Guys, I'm not going to move out of here, so you stay here. So we stayed in Australia for the last 13, 14 years. I don't know.
And you're still there.
Yeah, so you can call me, I love every place I work, because something inside myself, I work with the two big initiatives or two big values inside myself, that respect and accept, and also this is something that gave me a lot of good, I would say, good rationales to enjoy what you're doing. So two bigger things that I do it here: you need to love where you live, and you need to love what you do. So those two things that makes me very excited every morning when I wake up and I say, okay, I love this place, I love this country, regardless. So I love Australia very much, I love Egypt very much, I love Saudi, I love South Africa very much.
So talking about love, just want to follow up with two questions.
Yeah.
One question is, how did you meet your wife? I mean, you told me you're married, and how many children you have? I'm sure.
Yeah.
you
This
met
is
at the
this is a
Nile
very
River.
nice story, actually. It was not that easy at that time. I left my country when I was 22, 23, 24 years old, very young. It was not in my mind to get married. I was very excited, traveling, doing a lot of things.
So marriage wasn't the first.
No, I married at the age of 33, So this took me like 10 years after I left
figure it out.
my country. And I was living in one country in the Middle East, which was very difficult to find the opportunity at that time of the life. Now things has changed a lot, but at that time, working in such country, I will not disclose the country, but it was it was a bit
off the clock. You can mention the country.
So this country was a little bit very closed. It was very, very difficult for you to catch up with someone. I was living.
Is this Saudi?
Single, Saudi. I was living in Saudi Arabia. And at that time, culturally, it's a little bit difficult because it was a closed country, very conservative. It was very difficult for you to find a partner or somebody, a candidate or a girl or a lady that you can talk freely, you can live your things. So it was very difficult for me to really have that, because living even single man in Saudi Arabia at those days was very challenging. There was no internet, there was no, mobile phones. It was very difficult. And
So what was the breakthrough?
The breakthrough, I traveled every year. My mother, God bless her, when she was very, very keen that I need to get married. So I was going annually every summer for a holiday, and I spent half of the holiday visiting people. Hello, how are you? I'm Khaled, nice to see you. And then this was like, oh my God. It was like a very tough story for myself to do this. So I made a lot of visits which I didn't like, because I put myself on the other side, on the...
So this was arranged by your mother?
It was arranged by my mother, my family, my friends, to really find that, to get that opportunity to connect.
So quick question. Do you appreciate... Because in a way, we can look at that as your family supporting you in this.
Yes, indeed.
Do you when you look back on it, do you see yourself saying, you know what, I wouldn't have made it to this point where I am without that support they gave you, or giving you that push to say, you know what, you need to meet some new people?
I'm living in a Western country now. It's a totally different culture. So things has changed. So I'm getting this question a lot from friends. They say, Khaled, you are coming from a Middle Eastern, Muslim,
Arabic,
a bit Arabic, conservative culture, but you are living in the Western countries for many years. My children, they are very much Westernized by education, by living, by friends and everything. But however, we're still so keen to keep our culture, standards as it is. So me as a family and many, many other families like myself in Australia or in America or in Canada, they are still keen. The children, they don't leave the house until they are married. Girls, they don't leave the house, they got married. When we don't have that, stories of a boyfriend and a girlfriend and something like that. This is not in our standard. So I have my 2 daughters. My daughter already.
How many children, by the way?
I have 5 children. I was lucky enough to be gifted 5 beautiful children.
Okay.
I have 2 daughters and 3 boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
And ages?
Age, I think my daughter is 26. She graduated already from a very good degree, advanced science and business, and she works in a very similar domain like what I work. She works in the healthcare industry, and she's doing a lot of beautiful stuff of marketing and business. And I have twins after that, a boy and a girl, a boy.
And your son that
My son, Abdullah, you met today, yes. Yeah. Abdullah is already graduated.
Is the second one?
He is the second, yes, but he has a twins daughter,
Okay.
with him. So Abdullah finished already business management and already started working in different, banking and some other financial domains. And the daughter is still going to be graduated this year from interior design from University of New South Wales. And number 4, Ahmad, he's studying engineering, what they call it, mechatronics engineering and business as well. So it's a double degree as well. And he is lucky enough that to be fortunate to be doing 1 exchange year in Germany this year. He's in Germany now.
Okay.
And then the youngest, he's in HSC at the last year of the high school. Hopefully he is going to be heading off for university doing construction management. He's so motivated about different belongings.
So 5 kids, big enough. I'm sure early age, when I met you, you're already driving a big car to move everybody around, like a 8-seater, 10-seater.
No, it was a 7-seat. I love it. And by the way, since that time, I'm driving the same car. They tell me, you are boring, Daddy, because I like this car. In the Gulf time, when I was working in Saudi, I needed a bigger car for the family and all that. You are driving too long, so I am very much excited with the 4x4 car. So I had the Toyota Land Cruiser since that time, and it grows with me when I was. So I moved from one country, I buy the same car, same color. I go to the other country. Even when I went to Australia, I bought the same car.
Did you say the same color?
Yeah,
but
it's an off-white Prado. So you see me for the last 20 plus years. I drive this. Of course, I get the latest, the newest car, but in the same color.
What is this? Is this a ritual, beliefs?
I don't know. It's a bit of loyalty. We are in our business. We love the loyal customers.
To the color.
To the color and to the brand and the durability of the car. And I can tell you, every time when I sell the car, the resale value is the highest because I'm in business. So I need to do it the financial and your durability. I do my due diligence and even recently I bought a very fancy car, a few years ago, latest state of art fancy car. I did a lot of work and I told you before we talk, I personally, not a family car, for my own personal life car, for me, I love the Mercedes. So I have several Mercedes cars since 1988 and I drive the Mercedes for my own personal things, to spoil myself, by the way.
So, because you're such a very big Mercedes fan, by the way, BMW.
You're a BMW guys. I know that.
What is your... Because I've seen... Okay, in my own personal opinion, I feel like Mercedes went from the stigma of being an old man's car to being a very cool brand of car, back in the day when the C63 had a V8 and all those things, and it was they had the Black Series.
I did the same. My last car I bought in Dubai, when I came to Dubai 1.5 years ago, I decided to go for it because I spent too much time in Dubai on my own, not with the family.
Yeah.
So I got a coupe. So I said I need to spoil myself to be a cool guy. So I converted myself from the Mercedes Classic E200, the very classical car. I got recently a new car in there, which is it was about the electrical car, but I said no, let me stay with the petrol car. Fuel car. But it's not that as fancy. But when I went to Dubai, I said, okay, let me get a little bit to spoil myself, look after myself. I deserve to be spoiled somehow. So I got a coupe.
So my question was what is your all-time favorite Mercedes-Benz, new, old? Because also finishing what I was saying, I feel like Mercedes, they're not as appealing to me.
Yeah,
they're not as appealing of a brand anymore as they were, let's say, 10 years.
I disagree with you.
No, obviously you disagree.
I am a so loyal guy to the Mercedes.
But what is your...
No, you know what? I love my old car that I have in Egypt, which I rarely use it because I go to Egypt once every year, 2 years, but I still maintain the car in a very good shape. It's serviced every 6 months, maintained very well. It's the Mercedes Classic E240 1988. This is the best car I love. I got a Mercedes 2023. I don't really love it as I love them all Mercedes. It's the classical car. When you sit inside the car, you feel something special, you know. Even when you go with the car, it's like you are in a. I don't know. When I say anything good that luxury, I say, oh, it's like a Mercedes. All right. You're a BM guy. I know
So,
that.
Dad, same question for you, but BMW, since you're also
Yeah,
you're
he's
the
a
other
big
side
fan
of
of
this coin, basically.
So
Your dream BMW.
Look, I mean, lately I hate BMW because they disappointed me in a big way. Okay. I think BMW from a service standpoint, they used to be there, and Mercedes probably after them and Audi down. You know, when I chose the first chance to buy a German car was probably 25 years ago, and I gave
It's
all
the green BMW.
yeah. But I mean, I gave all of them a chance. So I went door to door. I went to Mercedes. They treated me like they doing me a favor in this market, okay? Forget about the engine and the technology.
Yeah.
They support because you buy, when things go wrong, who's going to come for you? You know, type of a thing.
You buy the dealer, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So then I went to Audi, and I said, look, I need a car now. They said, look, we can't get a car now. We'll get it in a month's time. But I said, look, you need to give me a car to carry on. I said, no, we can give you a city Golf. I was like, forget about it. I came here to drive Audi. And they telling me about city Golf. And I went to Mercedes and said, look, I want to buy this, C200 those days. It's nice and silver and fancy looking good. I said, look, I want the car. I said, look, the car will be ready in 2-3 weeks. You know, but we give you nothing. You know, you have to wait. And, they were so arrogant and painful. And I never really, wanted to go back to them. And this is, the culture of Mercedes here. It's so bad. And then I went to BMW. They loved me. They made me coffee and said, look, your car is going to be ready in a month's time. But, I said, look, I need a car now. Today I said, don't worry. Let's sign up the document and do a deal. Take this old car. It's a BMW. And when your car comes, we deliver to your house.
Wow.
And then, you remember the story, right? The car was such a disaster. It was breaking down on highway. But the thing is, when the car was breaking down, they were coming for me with another car to carry on. So the support and the service and all that. And they said, by the way, Peter, if you ever want to try any other car, Z4, X5 or whatever, just ring us, we'll bring it. You know it.
Yeah.
And they were very good.
No, on the contrary, I can tell you. When I went
let me finish the story. Lately, up until a month or two ago, I was driving this 8 Series M, which I loved and all that, and I had a mechanical issue. They didn't want to make the motor plan take care of that. And in this market, it's very small. I know the BMW CEO, it happened to be Peter as well. Ring him up and say, I've got a problem. He was telling me a lot of crap. And the dealership and all, they take me back and forth. It's like, I'm so pissed off with Mercedes. But my favorite car, in the BMWs that I have, the 650 series, the 2008 version, that aspirated engine, it's a legend. The sound system, the quality around it, they still look new inside. True. It's just amazing. But again, to your point, cars are sentimental things, right? But what you buy is, as you said, the dealer, the support when things go wrong. But if things go wrong, nobody's coming for you. And I think one time my wife said, oh, I was just like you, and said, look, Mercedes is the best. Peter, Mercedes is this, Mercedes is that.
Yeah.
I said, no problem, honey. One time we stopped and say, no, let's go buy Mercedes.
If you see my mobile phone, I have an app called Mercedes Me.
Yeah.
My Mercedes in Australia is there sitting in my home, but I have the application. If anyone opens the car, one of my children use the car, your car has been opened, and then I look here and I will see on the app where is the gun, everything telling me, your battery of the key is low. I call my son, I said, go and change the battery, go to the... So they care about you. This is what I call it here, like the Apple. The Apple, when you buy an Apple phone, you buy the Apple Care, and then peace of mind. This is what Mercedes did with me. But you see, very well here is about the customer centricity.
Yeah.
They attract you to be the ambassador of their brand. And this is in our business, when we talk about branding, you talk more about the value proposition and you talk about the positioning. And then the hypercare is the way that everybody will exist in the business. It's not anymore for this arrogancy or la 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 la. No, the people now are very open. You see the technology, and it's the hypercare. How much you care about me, how much. So when I bought this Mercedes, they gave me 10 years warranty, 10 years road assistance. So what else more than that? Even when I told the guy, oh, what about this? Where I can find? I said, Khaled, don't worry about anything. You drive, you enjoy. If anything goes wrong, we will come to you, we'll fix it. This is here what the clients is really requiring right now and demanding for is what you call it. You feel that when I do my business and I go to the customers, I care very much about them. And I said, sit back and relax. Leave it to me. And this is what I'm going to do for you. And this is why that you're going to exist and you stay in the market. There is no space for the arrogancy. There is no space for this hijacking pricing or doing this and that. If you need to exist in the market, you need to care about your customers, you need to care about your clients, and you need to know what they are expecting from you. And the money never, ever, the price never, ever is an issue. And a lot of people, they say, oh, it's too expensive. And it's not expensive. When you look into, at the end of the day, about the total ownership, cost of ownership, you will see what you pay for a low price is a little bit challenging at the front, but if you see how much you're going to pay after that for the to maintain it, to do it, and the time and the headache to struggle with. But when you are in a safe hands, either with a BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, all of them are great, but it's the way it is serviced in the market itself. So this is what I talk here about the dealer. When you buy the dealer, you buy the service, you buy this one.
Yeah. So, I mean, he loves cars too much. If I
know.
I don't manage this discussion, we can talk about cars until the cows come home. By the way, I don't have cows.
Like, not anymore.
So I want to come back to, the fundamentals, who you are, Egyptian man. And my perception of Egypt when I grew up was this, very Christian and religious country, Jesus Christ, Mary. By the way, I also did a tour to Mount Sinai and see where Jesus and Mary, they rested under that tree and all those. I did a Nile cruise as well. It was very hot. I didn't know that time that going to Egypt in May, June is a disaster because at the valley you get 50 degrees easy of high temperature.
It's
went to
July, August time, which is your winter here is very hot summer there.
So and then of course Aswan Dam and so the temples and all that. But what happened to Egypt? Because until last year, I've been going to Egypt every year 2-3 times. And I see that the country is now almost 90% Muslim and 10% Christian. But in my head and the history, I don't think it was always like that.
Egypt is you can talk about Egypt for days and days, Egypt is you talk about a journey of civilization of more than 7,000 years. And I don't agree with the concept that it's Egypt is Christian, Egypt is Muslim country. I don't like really to quote a country by religion, so it's a culture, it's a history.
Khaled, these are facts, right? When you count things.
No, I will tell you, because Egypt originally 7,000 years ago, if you see all the religions, you will see that Egypt is already in the Torah for the Jewish story, because, Prophet Moses, he grew up in Egypt. Okay. The original, if you say that if you want to claim it, you will say, Egypt is a pharaohs. The pharaohs, they don't have a religion. Pharaoh, he was the god. Mm-hmm. So we say that, Egypt is a pharaoh. There is no religion called pharaohs. So it was like a a giant, like an icon or whatever. So when you read the history, Egypt is the place where all the religious developed all the times. So the word Egyptian is equivalent to the word Coptic. Coptic means Egyptian in the Christian language, when
the Coptic.
It's Coptic, but I am a Coptic, so Coptic means Egyptian, not a Christian, So when you say, but in Egypt culturally, when I talk to my friends, my family, I grew up in a place where I didn't know that my neighbors, they're Christians until I grew up, but we're living together in harmony and synergy, even until 50 years ago. Where I'm living, I came from a place in Cairo, a district in Cairo called Shubra. Shubra is a culture on its own. We call Shubra is a country inside the country. So Shubra is a place where I can tell you the answer of your question. In Shubra, it was occupied by Jewish, Christians, and then Muslims, and foreigners, people from Greece, Maltese, So it was a very much multicultural thing. When you talk multicultural, you talk about different layers of people with different religions, people from different race, people from different backgrounds. So this is here the beauty of the harmony and synergy. But back to your question, Egypt started to be the area where the Moses came out, because if you read the story of Moses in all the books, he was grown up in the house of Pharaoh. And he and his brother, they fled out of this, and then they went to the whole journey until they went to Palestine. And again, back to Palestine. Palestine is the center of all the religions. If you go back to Prophet Abraham, he was from Palestine. And then the whole, it's a big story to talk about. But back to Egypt itself. So Egypt was the center of the civilizations before any other place in the world. And then from there, you have seen that Judaism came to introduce to Egypt. And then after that, by thousands of years, Jesus Christ came over, and then Christianity came to Egypt. There was no Muslims at that time. And Jesus Christ,
that's exactly my point.
Jesus Christ came from a Jewish family. So the whole religious has one origin. Prophet Abraham, he is the father of the prophets. And then all the religions came after that. So Judaism, Christianity, and at the end, you get
Arabic,
the Islam, not Arabic. So, but the Muslims, the Islam, again, is two big branches of Prophet Abraham. Abraham, he has is one of his generations stayed in what we call it the Levant, which is Palestine and the others, and the other went into the Mecca area. And from there, the Islam came out from the generation of Prophet Ismail, and the mother of Ismail, she was Egyptian, So you see this is here. But until the Islamic, expansion happened, yes, Egypt was a Christian country like any other place because there was no any other things. But when the Islam came to Egypt, they did not kill the Christians or whatever. So there is one of the, I would not call it, the missionaries or whatever you call it. So they came to Egypt and they say, okay, this is a new
converted
religion.
them.
Yeah, exactly. And again, one of the supporters of the Islam expansion at that time, he was the king of Ethiopia at that time. He protected the Muslims when they fled out of Mecca at that time. Okay. So I can tell you, Egypt welcomes everybody, welcomes every religion. If you see Egypt today, the official population of Egypt is 100, 110, 120, but how many people living in Egypt is 160 million. There are 40 million, refugees living in Egypt from different places, from Sudan, from Iraq, so what you hear on the media about Egypt and Islam, invaded Egypt or whatever, this is totally not true. I'm telling you, I'm a Muslim background. My best friends are Christians and living in a harmony, synergy. This is what the media says.
Yeah, I hear about the media, but I'm just merely sharing my visit.
Your perception,
not perception. What I saw on the ground when I visit, because I visited Egypt, Cairo area, especially again and again. I went to the pyramids. I tried to understand the things.
Yeah, but in the pyramids, there is no
uh,
sign for any religion in pyramids.
No, I'm
because
just
it's a seventh
mentioning the pyramids as a
an
you know
icon,
touristic site, because also you know the pyramids tells a story. If they were built years ago because before cranes and technology, and they saw synced and aligned, I mean that tells you how powerful.
No, you're right, because today
and how
if you see the
advanced country was.
demography of Egypt, you see that Christians, which is Egypt is like maybe 1,000+ years ago was only a Christian country, and then Islam been introduced. People did welcome that, and then by the time you see the Ottoman, empire ruled all the whole entire Middle East, and they have strengthened even the presence of the Islam, more than, but they did not mistreat the Christians because they kept the people on peace on things. But at that time, Egypt being a migration center for the whole area, because you see Egyptians from a, Turkish, background, Egyptians from a, Middle Eastern different background. So it grows up by that way. But today, I cannot declare Egypt is a Islam country, Muslim country per se. The freedom of maybe it's not up to that extent, but recently from what happened on the last 15, 20 years with the revolution and all the things, Muslim brotherhoods, which they were a bad news for Egypt and for the Egyptians, they tried really to demolish the very beautiful face of Egypt, of harmony, synergy, peace, accommodating everybody, having Christians and Muslims and Jewish, everybody, they live in peace and harmony. As I told you, myself, my family, my friends were a very good example of that. So all my friends, Christians.
I don't want to go into politics too much because, I think in 2023 I went to Egypt probably about, I'll say 6 times or so.
Yeah.
And it was that time when, the whole Israel and Palestine thing started. And actually they were pushing at the border of Sinai, the eastern side. Why was Egypt never really involved in,
I can tell
the
you
whole
one
thing?
Because the game is very bigger than what you think or anybody thinks. I'm sure you did hear about what they call it the new Middle East. I think there is a very big agenda behind all the conflicts happening here. If you look back into 2010, 2011 until today, where was the strongest spots in the Middle East? Iraq was a very strong country, very strong military, during the time of Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
So Iraq was a very strong country. Syria was a very strong country. Egypt is a strong country. You look into Libya, was a very rich country, might not be strong country, but very Gaddafi. So you see these big spots in the Middle East, and then you have Israel in the middle of over there, and then you can see where is the resources, the money, the oil, Iraq, Gulf, Saudi, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Libya,
oil.
A lot of money. And then where is the weapons? Where is the strong areas? All of those spots, as I told you, Egypt is the biggest base in the whole entire Middle East. And then you see Iraq on the top, Syria on the next door, and then you see Libya is here, which they can finance a lot. And then you go here. If you are the devil and you want really to demolish this area, what's going to be the first thing that you want to do? If you have some enemies around you, you want to really take over all this area, you go to the strong people, you try to make them weak, right? And then behind those, there was Iran. So they said, okay, let's, the bad guy, you see with this guy, I'll let you to define who is that bad guy, that he wants to rule the world and wanted to put his hands on the big resources everywhere. And at that time, I need to protect those little guys in the, in the middle here. So this little boy, the spoiled boy of me, and I'm the USA guys. So in order to let my little boy to live in a peaceful, in a nice
the
place,
little boy is Israel, right?
Israel, of course.
Yeah.
And then the biggest interest of the
big boy is America.
So the big interest of the guys is to control, to put their hands everywhere to rule the world, because there is some other guy on the North Asia over there called China. He's playing bad with me, and there is another guy on the other side here called Russia. So in order for me to be more stronger and rule the world, I need really to see where is the strong guys around me in the world, and try really to really make some diseases. Let them get infected. Let them get HIV. Let them get TB, untreatable things, or let them to get a antimicrobial resistant infection to eat themselves. I don't want to go and eat them myself. I let them to eat themselves. So this is the whole story happened in the Middle East. I can tell you easily. So it started before that. So let's get some guys to talk about politics, freedom, democracy. This is what happened in Tunisia. If you remember, it started in Tunisia, the Arab Spring, and this was the bad news happened to this region. So they started to bomb Tunisia with the Arab Spring story, and they let it to go to Egypt. But luckily enough that Egypt is protected, because it's 7,000 years, as I told you, since the big pharaohs. Egypt is a target for everybody there, but it has been protected because it's a nice people, nice culture, protected by our God. Anyways, so you look what happened after that. Let Iraq to consume all the resources and let them to get busy with the war of Iran. So they started many years to put all their money there.
Yeah.
And for this war between Iraq and Iran, imagine the resources was spent on that. Billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And they made them weaker and weaker, and they are selling weapons to those guys because I am the manufacturer, or somehow I will get all this. So let this happening, let them to get busy. I don't want them to be developed. I don't want to get them to get educated. You know, the biggest scientists in the world in chemistry, in nuclear medicine, on all these things coming from Iraq. Even by the history, medicine came from Iraq. The science of chemistry came from Iraq. So I don't want these people here. So let these people to kill themselves and kill each other. And then you move from Iraq, let them to get together, then move out from there. What happened in Syria, that was good. So to make it, because the story is very long, but to make it today, where is Iraq? No more Iraq. After they consumed and exhausted all the resources, people, matters, and then they came with the story of Saddam Hussein, the nuclear weapons, and there is no nuclear chemical weapons. It's a story there. So they killed the guy, they finished it, and then killed the people. So they talked about them, about Muslim, Christian. They talk about Sunni, Shi'i. So they demolished, destroyed Iraq. No more Iraq. There is hundreds of Iraq. No military for Iraq now. No army for Iraq now. And they put their hands on the resources. And you see how the big thieves in Iraq now, where is their money? Is in the US and here and there. And the oil price is there. So they control Iraq now. Now, if Iraq is done, X, then go to the next one, Syria. X. No Syria today. No military, no army, nothing. Cannot defend themselves. Who is next? Lebanon? They've been exhausted hundreds of years, so it's a very easy guy to do that. And then jump down to the Gulf. You need to make yourself, making some big money. So create a problem in the Yemen.
But I mean, I follow the story and I hear that. What really surprised me as I was going to Egypt many times, in the middle of all these things, trucks crossing, taking food across to Palestine or that region.
No, but I did not. Before you pause here. Pause here. All the surrounding countries, it happened. They targeted Egypt to be demolished, to be finished as well. 2011, they came out with this revolution. They put the Muslim Brotherhood, the Arab Spring, but it was good enough that Egypt was strong enough. They did not eat that bait. They were very, very smart Egyptians, and I'm Egyptian, so very smart guys. So they did not eat, they did not fall into the trap. Egypt is holding until today. You see 10, 15 years now, Egypt still the only country did not fall in the Middle East. That's why that Egypt is strong. So they are trying, and they will keep trying for many, many years to put Egypt in trouble, to make the problems with Egypt
but my question is not just about Egypt.
Yeah.
The surrounding Arabic countries keeping quiet when there's this thing happening. A couple of days ago, even Israel bombed Qatar. Because they obviously some of the
You know why? Very
Hamas-
simply, because Qatar, Saudi, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, all these countries, they don't have that strong military. They don't have any interest to go for that very harsh and hard conflict. And there is some other political backgrounds. I don't want to go for that. But I can tell you, they are paying the fee to the security company to keep my system, to keep my regime away from the Arab Spring, away from this. I need to keep ruling what I'm ruling, and I will behave to be a good guy, but I have to pay the big bell to the big guard, you know.
Because when I saw I think must have been last year when the King of Jordan went to see Trump. And Trump was just telling him everything else, that we're going to flatten Hamas, we make nice villas and nice hotels and everything else. He was struggling with this thing and blinking like he's seeing flashlights. I don't know if you remember those TV interviews.
I see that.
Instead of talking. But prior to that, there was a video of him very eloquent talking about the Arabic and the Muslim way. How Habibi and all those things, how very much Ubuntu, that's what we use here,
Peter, very simply, if I will leave the building here and I will go to the suburb somewhere here in Joburg, and I will be stopped by some bad guys, very strong guy, big guy, he will stop me, he will hijack me.
Kill.
And he will tell me, okay, you know what, get me your watch, get me your mobile, get me your da. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna?
You phone me.
I phone you. You will not answer, because if I tell you, Peter, I am in a big trouble. No, they will tell me, call Peter, let him to transfer $25,000 to me to relieve you. This will be the
price.
But if you will be into this situation and you have someone that is threatening you all the time, you need to keep paying me. Not only I've taken everything on you and I say, okay, to keep you in your shape like that, you have to keep paying me the bell. To be the guard. I told you, the big guy that he's guarding you. I need to put a military base in your house. I need to put my people to be, controlling your phone, your everything. Any phone call that you wanted to do, it will be monitored. And you say, okay, sir, yes, sir. But I have to be my guy. What happened in Qatar is a shame on anybody. Shame on anybody in any country. If I'm in the shoes of this Qatar president, I'd be in trouble if he would broadcast that. But I can tell you, what is the hell? Where is the dignity of the country? When you get somebody go into your borders, you go into your city, you go into your place and attack these people and say goodbye and go. Where have you been? Where is your security system? Where is your intelligence system? There is no route. Because all these things is me. I am the guy that I put all these systems here. And I will tell you, you know what, Peter? Close your eye because I'm going to go to your, sorry to say the word, I'm going to go to your wardrobe, to get something from there. I need some from your underwear and I will take it. This is what's happening in these countries. And you don't tell me that there is no dignity, there is nothing because of what? They are using the power to give you a power. You are taking a small power, but I am the owner of the big power. You like it? Or you don't like it, you like it, because if you don't like it, you will not be here tomorrow. You get the game?
All right, that's scary stuff. Let's get back to Khaled the man.
Yeah, forget about this.
All right, look, I mean, you've had
You have to take this discussion about this GCC countries' politics out because I will be in trouble if you would know about that.
I'll think about that. So, Khaled the man, I mean, you had a very prolific career, right? A very, a lot of respect to the work that you've done.
No, I did learn from you, by the way. He was one of my teachers, one of my coaches by the time,
Oh, wow, okay.
Previous companies and that you've done. And, I mean, you couldn't have done it without a family support, but a very good intentional work-life balance, where you spend a little bit of time with your family, your friends, and doing, your yachts or boats and cruising and all that. How much of sleep do you do per night? Do you sleep well? Are you stressed?
It's a very difficult question.
Things waking up in the middle of the night. How much of sleep do you do?
I don't sleep much.
Give me a number. How many hours?
2-3 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
I can tell you a lot of my business friends and partners, even I was talking to one of my distributors, today after a few years. They called me Khaled the Ghost. On the last 15, 20 years, I've been working in a global position. So when you are responsible for markets from Asia, Pacific, with, like 8-9 hours, and until you go to maybe, end of Eastern Europe or Latin America, or you have some interest to work with America. So you work around the clock.
Yeah.
So today I can tell you in the last few years, I live in Dubai, but I wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., because I have to attend some business calls from 5 a.m. with China, India, Japan, Australia, New Zealand. And then 10 a.m. I take a break. I go for a breakfast or a coffee or a tea. And then I started my another Khaled for the Middle East area when they wake up, or Europe, from 10 a.m. Dubai time until 4, 5. And then maybe late in the afternoon, I have some other conference calls or meetings with the America when they just wake up for the day after or the day before. So I've been doing this for 20 plus years, and then some responsibilities. If I get an email from my distributor, and it did happen many times, two funny things. I am in a different time zone, and they send me an email at 3 a.m. my time. I wake up, or maybe I just tick, and then I answer the guys 3:05. And they say, oh my God, this guy, we sent him an email at midnight, he respond, morning respond, day response, because I have my KPIs, my indicators of my job. My time to respond is one hour unless I'm in a flight. But nowadays it's the same 1 hour because most of the flights, they have internet. So my time to respond, 1 hour for anything in here. So there's something bending in here. But I can tell you, I don't sleep enough. And sometimes I say, I don't want to sleep because my life is very limited. Sleeping is wasting too much time of your life. I don't want to miss any hours.
So you got this fear of missing out, FOMO?
Yes. I can tell you, this is what really triggers me to keep working. Even my children now, my son was telling me, you need to sleep enough because we're staying here together. So he's saying, you don't sleep enough, keep your phone outside. And I can tell you, big thanks to my wife because she's the one that supports me for all the many years. But I changed it big time, my way of work-life balance. I can tell you very honestly and transparently, the COVID-19, I did not travel as I used to travel for the years before. 2020, mid-2020 until end of 2022, this is the time I was almost grounded. I would call it grounded in Australia. And this was the best 2 years of my life.
I wanted to say, because your life seems very non-stop.
Fast. Yes.
So in that downtime, when it ended, was there a feeling of, oh man,
I was running, driving at 150 kilometers, and COVID came.
Yeah.
I was even, before COVID, I had a meeting with my team in Beijing. And I left Beijing 15th of January, and they closed the whole world of that, on the 19th of January. And I was one of the guys that I was supposed to be in quarantine in Sydney for 2 weeks, but I did the quarantine at home. But I can tell you, the 2 years of the lockdown was the best years of my life. I had enough sleep. I had enough time to spend with my children, my family, my wife, my backyard. I started to have a good relationship and a connection with my backyard, my plants, the trees around. Even I talked to them.
Okay.
I did a lot of gardening, a lot of personal skills. I started to recook again, and my wife at that time, she works in a healthcare industry as well in manufacturing, and she was the only one going out of home because it was considered to be like an essential job.
Yeah.
And she was telling me, Khaled, you're sitting at home, please do this onion, do this, eggplant, and so I was already doing like a cooking assistant for her, and she was still talking to me. Are you okay? Okay. Can you please look into the laundry? And you took the laundry outside, and so I was doing the home affairs and the homework myself. But I can tell you honestly, this was the best 2 years of my life, in where I was really enjoying the family. I realized a lot of things, too many things that I did not know about my children, and I got to know, come close to them. And then when things started to soften a little bit, we started to spend good time on the boat, going fishing, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I mean, you're talking about being forced to be a bit of a, you call it home affairs, I think it's house executive.
Yeah. I don't want to say the maid or the labor of the house, but
I mean, do you really know how to cook, and what's your
yes,
favorite dish?
Yes, I used to cook because I lived as a bachelor guy in Saudi Arabia for 7 years. So at that time I started to. But when I got married, I was a spoiled guy. I put 10 kilograms of weight and everything was done. Luckily enough that Hanan, my wife, she was doing a good care of me and the family. But recently I started really to do this cooking. Even now, during the COVID, I was really doing a lot of cooking. And because
what's your favorite dish?
Oh, a lot. Not
Egyptian?
only one. It's, of course,
because I mean, owing it to the fact that you kind of lived on the road most of the time, country to country to country.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you must be.
I continue, and even living in Australia, we have a very multicultural country. So we are very much like a international cuisined family now. Okay. So my youngest son, he is, you know, very much Asian food, Chinese, Korean. Every other week they go to Korean barbecue. Sushi is becoming like a bread and butter for the family now. So Indian, you know, chicken butter, and so we are a little bit butter open chicken, to all of that. Yeah, butter chicken. You go for the curry. So I continue. We are very much open to, and we started really to cook those at home. You know, Hassan, my son, his best friend is Japanese, and his family, they're very close to our family. So they teach us how to do the sushi and the sashimi.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so when you come to Australia, one day you should come with your dad and come to Australia. You will see that very much international. And when we travel to any place, we know exactly what we need to order. We need to, all these cuisines in there. But at home, we are very much Egyptian standard. But sometimes, from time to time, we change the cuisine. We do either Chinese, or we do Indian, or we do Japanese, Korean.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from a language standpoint, I mean, you said your kids are, because they kind of grew up on the road, are they speaking very good, pure Arabic?
I can tell you the three elders. Yeah, we made a deal that at home in Australia, we should speak only Arabic as much as we can.
How's that deal going?
It's, I think, 70% respected, but still the guys I do speak Arabic all the time at home. We do keep, you know, maintaining our culture. We speak Arabic all the time. We keep the TV in Arabic all the days. We don't see but the kids, they come when I'm not at home, they are on Netflix and they see the rugby and I see the cricket, which I don't understand any of them myself. So I'm still 100% Egyptian. They are a little bit 60-70% Australian and still 40% Egyptian. But they speak Arabic very well. They read the Arabic. They read Quran. You know, we practice Islam very well in Ramadan and all this stuff. So I think my worry is the second generation. You know,
their kids,
they might be slightly losing this kind of interest. But my 3-4 children, the youngest, he didn't go to Arabic school. He didn't learn how to write and read Arabic.
Yeah.
So Hassan is the one that he know the Arabic by practicing, and he can read. I don't know how. He can read from the Quran. I don't know how.
But he can't write.
But if you give him a newspaper or something, he cannot read it because they went to like a Quran teacher when they were young until they were like 10 years old. So, but still we keep the Arabic language maintained at a very high. And also, I am keen also to send the family to Egypt. At least not more than 2 years. They should go to Egypt. So that's why my son and my daughter, the twins, they are in Egypt and they came with me here, Abdullah, for the South Africa trip. But we keep the connection with the family. I still keep my home in Cairo. I keep my car in Cairo. We keep the bond because I want to keep that. And we're so proud of this, you know. We don't want to. I don't like those guys that when they go to the West, they start to, hey mate, you know, and they fuck. Sorry to use the word, but I don't like that. I need to maintain that. You know, you should be proud of who you are.
True.
You know.
True.
So
Sorry for that.
take it easy, all right? Listen, I mean, you've been to, I said you've been to hell and back in terms of the travel, been to just about everywhere. Any regrets looking back, things that maybe you should have done?
No, I never regret on anything I did in my life, bad or wrong, because I'm a very much believer on you need to give yourself and give whoever around you, family, friends, colleagues, workmates, you give a space for mistakes to happen, because we do learn a lot from our mistakes. So you keep the space of the mistakes and then forgiveness. But you need really not to keep doing the same mistakes. So I've never regretted anything in my life. Even sometimes I did bad. I played a lot on the stock exchange. You know, the story of the 2008, I was one of those victims. But I always said, okay, what happened, happens. Finished. I should look forward. And I have a very good friend of mine in the US, Mr. Garish. He is telling me something very nice. I did learn it from him. He said, always feed forward. Because when you do a reflection of the past, you talk about the feedback, and then you make a story about the feedback. It's good to have that, but you keep feed forward, that you need to look into the future. And don't be regretting any losses in money and mistakes and anything. So if I go back, I'm so grateful for all my life, all my career, everything happened. And I'm really not more than being a grateful person, and I'm so proud of all what I did,
So, any more questions before I ask Khaled one more question, and then we will allow you to ask
too much
us
questions,
one or two questions.
It's enough,
We'll give you a chance to ask questions. Yeah.
Okay.
So a question I wanted to ask was that because you've traveled so much and you stayed in different countries, obviously Egypt is home for you.
Yes.
When you see other countries like Australia, South Africa, Saudi, and all the other countries you've been to, which other country do you think resonated with you on that level where you're like, this is very similar to Egypt, and I feel like I could see, like, already you said Australia's home, and that was fine because you made a decision to your family saying we're not moving after this.
Yeah.
So before that, were there any other countries where you were like, I could see us settling down here and calling this home?
It's a difficult question, and the answer is, as I told you at the very beginning, I am so happy wherever I am, because I am applying the golden rule of love what you do, and love where you live.
Yes.
So I'm very much keen to enjoy any place I live in. If I stay here in South Africa for a year, I will love this place. I will make memories in this place. It will stay in my heart. So I have a very good memories with all the countries that I lived in, all the countries I traveled to. Back to your question, where I'm gonna retire, or the place where I have no work, no travels, anything, I think I will be split half by half, vertically. Half of them will be in Egypt and the second half in Australia, but I tend to be more in Australia than Egypt.
Okay.
Because I have rights. Many other countries where I did live, I don't have any rights. I am a resident for a purpose. The purpose is that your work permission. So I lived in Saudi Arabia. I have never ever been in Saudi Arabia forever. If I don't have a job in Saudi Arabia, I have to go back to my home country. The same in Kuwait, the same in United Arab Emirates. Even in United Arab Emirates, I hold now a long-term residency. They call it golden visa. I can stay there for no reason for many, many years, 10 years. But I don't have rights. I don't have rights to vote. I don't have rights to this. I don't have the citizen rights.
Yeah.
So I am a citizen of Egypt. I am a citizen of Australia. I can tell you, very difficult for me to live in Egypt now because I've been away for many years. I lost a lot of the locals. So when I sit with my friends in Egypt, they talk about things that I'm not part of this discussion. I don't know what they are talking about. I feel myself like a stranger. Even the people on the street, the culture. Yeah, so it's a bit difficult. But for me, Egypt is in my heart. It's in my memory because I have all my memories until now. I still have good memories in Egypt. I would love to keep even there is a lot of challenges and a lot of issues happens, but I will continue my life, the rest of my life, retiring in Australia because I have my home, I have my children, I have my boat, I have the fishing, everything is easy, everything is. You don't need to suffer to do things. In Egypt, you need to suffer to buy your food. You need to go from one place to another place, like here in South Africa. You need to suffer, every day there is a story, every day. While in Australia, everything, when you are sitting there, you get it done. So, yeah. And again, difficult for my children also to live in Egypt. They love to go to Egypt as a holidayers.
Yeah.
And they go back.
Yeah, convenience. I think you've earned it. You've worked very hard. You've done well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So,
Peter,
any questions maybe that you have for me and my son?
No,
Before
thank you
we
very much,
close?
guys. It's not a
You
question.
don't have
it's
a
really
question?
No, because I think
That is unlike you, Khaled.
Yeah, I need to be. I'm trying to behave well because I told you I will. I promise you to behave well.
So wait, since he doesn't have a question, I have one more question.
Give me your question.
So after 2022, when things started speeding up again and you couldn't stay at home the way you used to, what was that feeling like? Was it like, I have to go back to this routine?
out of the bottle. I was like a genie in a bottle.
Okay.
And after 2022, I was really ready to make my itineraries to travel for the. Prior to 2022, I was traveling like 250 days a year. Wow. Even this has made me, a problem because I lived in Australia 10 years. I did not get the citizenship of Australia. All my family, they got it after 4 years because they stayed there. When every time I apply, I said, you don't stay in Australia enough number of days to qualify to be a resident, qualified for a citizenship. I got it during the COVID because in the COVID, I stayed there. So they said, you got your numbers, come and take your... I think things has changed also because the requirements of the travel post-COVID is not like pre-COVID.
Okay.
Because if you see what happened during the COVID and post-COVID, the online meetings and all that stuff has made the travel requirements to drop down to almost 25%. From 250 days, first year I was traveling only like 30, 40 days, but started to pick up again. But in my last 3 years job, because it's a new startup company, business requires me to travel a lot to establish relationships. I travel a lot again, and I'm doing this from Dubai. But I can tell you, the travel post-COVID normalized to be less than 50% for the travel prior COVID. And this gave me a lot of opportunities to change my lifestyle, to make the work-life balance.
Yeah.
Well, so I insist to keep time to my family, to my friends, to my wife as much as I can. I feel guilty when I'm traveling more and not spend the time. That's why when I find an opportunity, like my son, he's going for a holiday. He said, you come spend the time with me in Dubai. I'm going to South Africa. I offer you this to come for a holiday here. So I'm trying really to take every and each opportunity to spend the time. I told Peter a couple of days ago, you work very hard in your life, and I think he's doing this with you, my dear. The best thing that you give to your family, your friends, your children is the time. The most expensive, precious thing that you own in your life is the time. I want to give this time to my friends, to my colleagues, to my family. This is what I can do. And it's more than giving you a money or a BMW that we're talking about. So the time Peter is giving you, you should be more... give me the BMW. Okay, guys, thank you very much, Peter.
As they say, shukran.
Shukran. Thank
Inshallah.
you very much. Inshallah.
Habibi, thank you very much for spending the time with us.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. All the best, my dear. Thank you.
All right.